In the first video, we spoke about music giving a voice to the voiceless. Now it's time to listen to the body speaking without words through dance. Breakdance was and still is resistance. It's the language of the heart in the streets, where every move says, I exist, I fight, I am free. Welcome to the story of the dance that changed the world. In the mid-1970s, the South Bronx looked more like a post-war zone than a part of New York City. Buildings stood with broken windows, street lights were off, and the smoke from landlords burning their own properties spread like the bitter perfume of poverty. Yet beneath the ashes, a spark existed. On August 11, 1973, in the common room of 1520 Sedgwick Avenue, DJ Clive Cool Herc Campbell started something bigger than a party. He extended the break sections of funk records, creating a pulse that needed neither guns nor slogans, just bodies that danced. On the yellowed linoleum, palms replaced fists, and rhythm became the only currency of respect. Breaking was not born in a hall. It was born on concrete wounds. It was a new alphabet for those who had been denied a voice. Through Herc's speakers, the nicknames of future legends echoed first. Trixie, Clark Kent, Dancin' Doug, the Smith twins. They invented a language of movement without books, but with the intuition of survival. They danced on top rock, then dropped to the bottom, down rock, as if their bodies were drawing their dreams on the concrete. Herc's microphone was like a sword. If he said your name while you danced, you became an invisible king of the circle. Top rock wasn't just a warm-up, it was a challenge. Am I strong enough to look you in the eye before I drop to the floor? Down rock and freezes weren't tricks. They were finishing moves of a fighter demanding respect. The first b-boys didn't dance for applause. Through dance, they defied everything that tried to erase them. Schools that didn't teach, buildings that were falling apart, a future that didn't exist. Their bodies were pencils, the floor, a page. Every move was a personal graffiti, a silent scream, I exist. You don't see me in the news, but see me here. Watch me fly without wings. They were Black and Puerto Rican youth who took power from gangs and turned it into art. While street gangs like Savage Skulls and Black Spades tied bandanas and prepared steel chains, new warriors came with music under their arms and cardboard under their hands. In one corner, a gang with chains. In the other, a kid with cardboard, a boombox, and eyes that said, let's talk differently. Breaking stepped in where social programs, churches, and schools had failed. It had no speakers, but it carried a message. Violence began to retreat before the power of expression. Windmills became the new weapons. Head spins replaced fists. If you danced better than your opponent, you won their silence. It was respect, without blood. KRS-One would later say, the gangsters moved to turntables, and conflicts moved to the dance floor. This wasn't a slogan, it was the truth. More and more young people chose elbow spins over knives, style over revenge. This wasn't running away from reality. It was taking control of it. Because when everything is taken from you, your style is still yours, untouchable by laws, borders, or systems. In 1981, New York's streets were still on fire, but a name began to echo between buildings: Rock Steady Crew. More than just a group. They became a movement within the movement. Crazy Legs, a kid who scraped his knees learning windmills, became the leader of a new generation. Ken Swift, with razor-sharp moves and a focused stare, brought ballet-like discipline to the raw energy of the street. When they appeared in Flashdance in 1983, they didn't know those 2 minutes would change breaking forever. Around the world, kids dragged blankets across floors, fell, spun, got back up, not knowing anything about the Bronx. But they felt the energy, the rhythm, the power of movement. That short routine wasn't just choreography. It was a visual manifesto, a message that a kid from a broken building could move like someone from a ballet school. Maybe even better. Rocksteady didn't just break barriers, they turned them into stages. The film opened doors, but what Rocksteady brought was the key. Proof that a poor neighborhood's dance could shake the screen. Just 1 year after Flashdance introduced the world to breakdance, Beat Street, 1984, exploded on the screens. Not just as a film, but as a cultural tremor that turned street art rhythm and resistance into a global phenomenon. Not just a movie, it was a rhythmic earthquake that sent shockwaves from the Bronx to Berlin, Tokyo, Moscow, Havana, Johannesburg. MTV turned it into a visual virus. Music videos began to feature b-boys, DJs, graffiti, and cities worldwide started looking for their own Bronx. In Berlin, Storm, a former gymnast, trained obsessively, trying to learn a language he never heard in school. In Seoul, young b-boy didn't need to speak English. His body already knew what to say. In Johannesburg, the first kids laid down cardboard in stairwells, recorded themselves on VHS, trying to recreate what they saw on screens. No Air Max shoes, no branded b-boy shirts, just heart and rhythm. Suddenly, you didn't need to be from the Bronx to be a b-boy. You just had to believe that your fall could become a move, that you were a voice, even if no one was listening. When the spotlight faded, only the real ones remained. In the early 90s, mainstream media turned away, but breaking didn't die. It returned underground, back to basements, parking lots, and subway tunnels. Red Bull BC1 emerged in the early 2000s, fueled by the underground spirit of the 90s. Not just an event, a reminder that style never dies. It just retreats to evolve. Their moves were sharpened like blades. Battles were raw and honest. The crowd was the judge, and they didn't lie. Then came 2024, Paris. Breaking joined the Olympic Games, not as a sideshow, but as a discipline. Phil Wizard from Canada, a poet in motion, won gold. Ami Yuasa from Japan, light as air and solid as stone, took home a medal with a smile that said, "This is just the beginning." From cardboard floors to the Olympic stage, breaking didn't rise, it endured. And that's more powerful than any medal. Today, when a teen in Berlin, in pajamas and socks, plays James Brown and starts tuprocking in their living room, they may not know the full story, but they feel the pulse. When a young girl in Tunisia freezes in front of parents who don't understand, she may not know all the names, but she knows how bass sounds like resistance. Breaking has become a global dialogue, with no need for words. In the circle, there is no race, no passport, no religion, only style, only energy. In a world constantly trying to divide us, the dance circle unites. It's a small planet where respect is earned without hate, only through the courage to fall and rise. Because that's the essence of breaking. not to dominate, but to endure, to say, I'm still here and I'm still moving. If we ever forget what freedom looks like, let us place our palms on the concrete. Feel the bass pounding in our chest. Close our eyes and let the body speak.